Donald Trump's week in the spotlight may be over as the DNC officially kicks off today. This, as a recent poll shows, Clinton with a 5-point lead over Trump at 46 to 41%. And our next guest says convention polling history may indicate what they can expect next.
So welcome GOP pollster and principal at the Victory Group, Adam Goodman. Adam, good to see you. Thanks for waking up.
Good morning. I'll tell you, it's quite an early morning here in Philadelphia.
We know these
we're
early
used
mornings.
to it.
Yeah, this is old news for us. All right, so let's pull up these polls. Compare this 2016 poll to where President Obama and Romney stood at the convention time back in 2012. You can see here, as it looks now, Trump 41, Hillary Clinton 46, Obama 48 at that point, Mitt Romney 44. How should we think about this, Adam?
Well, I'll tell you, they're very similar, and they're almost within the margin of error. They say 3 points plus or minus is basically a tie race. And, of course, in 2012, this followed revelations, unfortunately, from Mitt Romney about the 47% comment, courtesy of a bartender in Florida, and a pounding, I think, that the Republican nominee had gotten for months by the Democratic machine. So despite that, Romney was close to the margin of error, as is Donald Trump. But with every convention, just so everyone understands this, there's a bounce. And I expect the bounce that came out of Cleveland could become the rebound that comes out of Philadelphia.
Well, compare for us this 2016 poll. This is where Barack Obama and John McCain stood at convention time back in 2008, correct?
That's correct.
And taking a look at these numbers, let's see, it was 45 to 42% back then for Obama and McCain.
Right. And that was, of course, before the financial meltdown. That was before other events kind of took over the campaign. Also, as you can see, 3 points within the margin of error. But the one thing I can say about polls this election season is take them all with a bit of a grain of salt. It's a different campaign season. It's a different kind of election. And I think we're going to see a different kind of result come this fall. What
do you think the polls are going to look like after the convention this week? You talk about a bounce. Obviously, this election cycle is different than anyone we've seen in the past. But what do you think is going to happen after this week?
I think there'll be a couple points maybe moving towards Hillary if she doesn't have another day like she had yesterday with their campaign. But the biggest thing that's going to start moving numbers, guys, the biggest thing are what I call the 3 political Super Bowls, the 3 major debates. Once we get to that point, I think these poll numbers take on more significance. And I've also suggested that if Donald Trump in this situation is within a couple points of the secretary coming into the final weekend, there's a hidden vote, and being in Philadelphia, I'm used to that from the former mayor, Frank Rizzo. There's a hidden vote, and I think Donald Trump is going to be in position to win.
And arguably, the biggest poll-driving element has yet to even happened, right?
Well, which is?
The debates.
I'm sorry.
The debates in the general election coming up.
They are going to be political Super Bowls, each and every one of them, tuned in by more people than ever in the history of television. And they are going to determine, I think, the beginning of what you could suggest is the lock-in moment. When is that one time when people say, okay, I think I've got it now? I think those 3 debates are critical, as could be all sorts of potential external events, and certainly the world has been rocked in the last couple of weeks, in this country in particular, by a number of them, and any one of them could be an excuse for the poll takers to see that there's been not only a bump but a major move in this race.
That's so true. The mood of the country is going to be so important at the time the election takes place. Adam Goodman, thanks for waking up.